Rejection is one of those things that doesn't just hurt in the moment. It lingers in our life. It has this sneaky way of embedding itself in how we see ourselves, how we interact with others, and even how we see God. At first, it feels like an event, maybe a breakup you just had, you were left out of something, you've been overlooked or dismissed. But over time, it becomes something deeper, something heavier, and even insidious. What makes rejection so dangerous is how it twists our hearts and our mind, and it begins to make us believe things that are not even true. Things like, you are not enough, you are not wanted, you are a burden, nobody will like you, nobody wants to stay with you. And the more we believe these lies, the more we start acting in ways that proves them true. We shut people out, afraid of getting hurt again. We settle for less because we think that we don't deserve more, or we keep overcompensating, trying so hard to earn approval that we lose ourselves in the process. And this is where the enemy steps in. Satan loves rejection because it's the perfect soil for planting seeds of destruction. He uses it to isolate us, to make us question our worth, make us bitter or desperate, and keep us in situations that will further perpetuate the feelings of rejection. He convinces us that rejection isn't just about what happened, that is who we are, that nobody wants us, that we are not lovable, that nobody wants to stay with us, that we are worthless. And when that lie takes root, it becomes a stronghold. That stronghold is now a cage. It becomes a cage. It shapes how we think, how we feel, and how we respond to the world around us. We lash out when someone gets too close, or we cling too tightly, afraid that people will leave. We keep replaying some scenarios in our heads from the past, all those times where people rejected you, said very bad words to you that made you feel rejected. You just stay in your quiet time, you are replaying it. And by replaying it, we are feeding the pain, feeding the fear, and the cycle continues. Rejection leads to behaviors that make us even feel more rejected. And Satan uses that to further separate us from God and push us further down the rabbit hole of dejection. But here is what you need to know. Rejection is a lie, and God's truth will always crush it. God doesn't just want to comfort you in your rejection. He wants you to heal from it. He wants you to break the stronghold and replace every lie with the truth. You are not unwanted. You are not forgotten. You are not a mistake. God's word says, the stone the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. Think about that for a second. The very thing that was dismissed, cast aside, was the foundation of something greater, Jesus. That is what God does. He takes rejection and he turns it into purpose. But your healing will not start until you surrender to God. It starts with bringing those deep unspoken wounds to God and saying, here I am. I don't want this anymore. I don't want to bear this burden of pain. I don't want to carry this weight of rejection around with me. It starts with believing that his love is not based on what you have done or who has rejected you. It's based on who he is. And those people who rejected you probably couldn't see your worth or your value, or maybe they saw it and they didn't have the capacity to actually handle it. But it has nothing to do with you. They didn't confer worth or value on you. So their rejection of you cannot affect who you are or how God sees you. The enemy will keep trying to use rejection to control you, but God's truth is louder. You are chosen, you are loved, you belong to him. So you belong to somewhere. You are not alone in this world. So don't stay trapped in that cycle. Don't let rejection define you. Take it to the one who was rejected so that you will be accepted forever. Let God rebuild you from the inside out. Let him take away those seeds of rejection that the enemy has planted. Let him break through that stronghold. He said, casting down imaginations that exalts itself against the knowledge of Christ. That thought of rejection you are having is exalting itself against the knowledge of Christ in your life. So allow God to cast it down. Cast down those thoughts, those feelings, those experiences that even when you think about it, it doesn't have that hold on you anymore. It doesn't sting anymore. It doesn't make you feel shame. It doesn't make you feel worthless. That is what is going to happen when God comes into your life and heals you from those feelings of rejection. And you will notice that once that feeling is gone, once that thought, that seed is gone, the spirit will escape because there's nothing for it to build on. There is no foundation for it to lay on. Because in the hands and by the power of God, rejection loses its power over you. God bless you.